First down, and Cam Newton on the fake handoff, and the pass is caught, and it should be a first down to Steve Smith. Steve Smith, who had 5 catches and a touchdown reception against Minnesota last week. The Rams 23. And Newton's pass incomplete, and it was intended for Steve Smith with Janoris Jenkins on the coverage.
Steve Smith trying to get Janoris Jenkins to jump deep with this back shoulder throw, pull up. Hadn't, just took his eye off the ball last second. Janoris Jenkins doesn't look like he got a hand in there. Just kind of went through the arms of Steve Smith. That's a rare drop by the Pro Bowl receiver.
Unusual game. We've had a pick 6, a safety, 1st and 15. Pass up the middle, and a terrific catch by Steve Smith in traffic. Almost had to grab the ball away from a defender. It gets 19 yards and a first down shy of midfield.
You're going to see at the bottom here, he just kind of has what we call a skinny post or leaning in, almost an in route. And boy, that thing came in. That was tight quarters for Cam Newton. That ball, not a lot of margin for error with Janoris Jenkins trailing the play. You get it out a little too far in front of you, then Jolon Dunbar could have picked it off. Steve Smith loves being an impact in this game. Has 1 drop.
Yards on 8 carries. But Newton back in the game. And Cam Newton's pass caught by Olsen. And Olsen will be about 4 or 5 yards shy of the first down. But it's time for a game break. And let's check in with Joel Klatt.
All right, thank you, Dick. And Tom Brady looking for Rob Gronkowski, but he doesn't find him. Antonio Allen, first pick of his career, 21-17. Jets coming back.
Meanwhile, we've had fisticuffs break out here at the 40-yard line. A long way from where the line of scrimmage was, and it hasn't ended. And in the middle of it is Steve Smith. Helmets are on the field, and they're still going at it. And 3 flags go up simultaneously. What triggered this, you wonder? And Chris Long coming off. Going to check out Jordan Gross, the left tackle, and Robert Quinn, the defensive end.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see how they sort this out, because this started out with just 2 guys kind of pushing and shoving.
Gross and Quinn may have started this whole fracas.
Well, this is just kind of after the play, the push and the shoving should be done there, but now we got 4-on-1.
Personal foul. Defense number 91.
And then now it just continues to escalate.
His actions, he's been disqualified from the game.
Chris Long has been disqualified. Personal foul called against Long, and he has been tossed from the game.
And I don't know that we've seen the incident that's specific here, right here. Long's in the middle of it. What prompted his being ejected compared to anybody else? You can see they're trying to pull him off here. Darian Stewart in there trying to pull their best defensive lineman off. The damage has already been done. The frustration of having them in a 3rd and medium. I'm talking about St. Louis now with their backup quarterback in the game, jumping off sides, now leaving themselves vulnerable, now inside the 20-yard line. I think we might be seeing a little of the frustration of the St. Louis Rams, recognizing their situation down 17-5 here in the 3rd.
It's also involved. Let's see the play before the fight with Long and now Steve Smith.
Yeah, they're jawing back and forth subtly right here, but you don't want to get into a war of words with Steve Smith, that old veteran right now. They're jawing at each other, obviously. Not that it led up to this specifically, but boy, there's a lot going on in here. Don't know why they were able to single out Chris Long, but they have.
Looked like Steve Smith triggered something in Long, whatever it was. Laura Open, you're down there.
Well, I can tell you I'm on the Panthers sideline. What they're saying is Steve Smith was in the middle of it. No one knows what he said, but what they're saying is that Chris Long threw a punch, and that's what was seen, and that's what got him ejected. That's what the Panthers are saying.
A heated game here in the 3rd quarter, and what has been An odd game indeed. It'll be 2nd and 6 on the 13 after Williams' 3-yard gain. Here's Cam Newton's pass. It's caught to the goal line. Not over the end zone is Steve Smith. Not into the end zone. But once again, the Panthers will have a 1st and goal at the 1.
This is the trust you have between quarterback and receivers. You can see at the top of the screen, Steve Smith on a simple slant. Cam Newton put it right on the break, directly out of the break, because you don't know what's inside. The receiver has to trust the quarterback to not lead him into danger. And Steve Smith not quite being able to break the plane, but putting the ball on the 1-inch line.
And Nate Chandler is checked in as an extra offensive lineman for the Panthers. Steve Smith now with 4 catches and 50 yards. And the Carolina Panthers challenging the calling on the field that Smith was down before he got into the end zone. First challenge of the game and will return.
The ruling on the field is that he was down before getting into the end zone. Right there, if we stop it right there, clearly the knee is down and the ball has not crossed the line, or the touchdown, the goal line, excuse me. I've only been at this a little while, so it looks like that is going to hold.
Brian, why does a coach make a challenge on this when you're going to get the ball at the 1, even though you can't take for granted that
it is an absolute cluster up in the booth right now. You've got coaches looking at the film and go, oh, it's in, challenge it. No, I know that he's in. And then you throw it and you look up at the film and you go, wait a minute, his knee was down. What are you telling me? So you're a little bit of a victim to your circumstance.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Carolina is charged with their first timeout.
And now you have 1 less timeout in the second half when you need them. Now, again, it isn't a foregone conclusion, obviously, that you're going to score from 1 yard out.
Right, and you take the chance, but right there, I guarantee you, having been in this situation a million times, up in the booth, they're swearing on a stack of Bibles that he was in, right up to the point where they see he's not, and you know what? It's like the phones went dead. It's like AT&T needs to get in here, because I don't hear a word from anybody.
I didn't suggest that.
Yeah. Who said it was good?
Holding. Defense number 21. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first
it's
down.
on the cornerback, Janoris Jenkins, so it'll be an automatic first down.
And he's John with Steve Smith here. Never a good idea. Janoris Jenkins, just a 2-man route. Right there. Got the hand all over him as he breaks, and then followed up with the other one. You get that blatant a shot. Particularly, there's only 2 guys out. The officials down the field got nothing to look at except the 2. Yeah, you can see here at the bottom is Janoris Jenkins and Steve Smith. This started a couple plays ago. Steve Smith, again, this is a guy is as competitive as gets. Janoris Jenkins, I would be telling him if I'm his coach, look, you are not going to win this battle. Just be quiet. Beat this guy at the line of scrimmage. Do not get involved in a war of words, because you'll lose.
And you saw the official come in and separate, but mostly look at Smith. And here's first down. And there's the pass caught by Steve Smith. Touchdown. And the Steve Smith show underway here. A 19-yard touchdown, pleasing Ron Rivera.
Well, St. Louis decided to bring some pressure, which left Steve Smith one-on-one with Janoris Jenkins, the guy he's been John with all day long. Sidestep, points back and says, yep, that's me. I'm the one that's been talking to you. Cam Newton, under a lot of pressure, had to put up a bit of a punt to get the ball to Steve Smith. But the fact that it was one-on-one, this is right in Steve Smith's wheelhouse.
Close to is good. And Steve Smith now with 5 catches, including a touchdown. And with 19 seconds remaining in the third now, the Panthers coming back and answering the Ram touchdown with one of their own. It's 27-12.
Yeah, and here again, we keep coming back to it. Some guys are very good at it, some aren't. We see here at the bottom, Steve Smith, he's on the backside. They're non-part of this play. But look at, he's going to die. You take a shot at me, I'll dive. He's got him. He's got Janoris Jenkins thinking more about what he's going to say to Steve Smith than how he's going to cover him.
All right, Laura Oakland right here.
Brian, exactly what you're saying. It's in his wheelhouse. Cortland Finnegan was so upset he couldn't play today. He loves the back and forth jawing with him and Steve Smith. He was trying to help these young DBs out, explaining to them, Steve will talk all game. Do not get caught up in that, because what we just saw happen is what will happen.
All right, Laura, thank you very much. So Steve Smith makes it happen on many fronts as Cam Newton with the touchdown pass. And it's 27-12, an 8-play, 72-yard drive that took 5 minutes. Should be a gem.
I know he's pointing to there. I think he's trying to tell maybe a couple of St. Louis fans in here going, nah, that's not going to get it. We're going to break them in half right here. So he's not only jawing at the players, he's jawing at the crowd as well.
For a team that has struggled at home in the Ron Rivera regime, 7-11, but they win this one. And we'll go to 3-3, and it's been 4 years since the Panthers have won consecutive games in September or October, and they win this one 30-15.
Touchdown catch looked like you kind of juked two guys. You made like a defender miss. How you got to the end zone? Can you take us through that play?
I'll let Janoris Jenkins go over it on film on Monday.
Did you point to him?
Yes, I directly pointed to him.
Did you think that you were going to get a
Don't give a damn.
What was the dance that you did?
Well, he thinks he's Deion. He's not.
To get your rating for the catch, especially against him, it sounds like.
No, he's just another notch on the bedpost. That's 800. He ain't no different.
For number 800 to be a touchdown, what's that mean?
Just another dude.
What? Did you have any run-ins with him before? Do you know?
No, what I don't like is a young guy come in who obviously his first time ever using the internet and Google, and he Googles information about me, talks about my wife and stuff like that, and that's kind of some of the bullshit I just don't play with, and that's all I'm gonna say. I don't play them games. So you know, when you try to take it personal like that, you know, I don't have really much. I don't have any great humbling things to say. So he can take his ass back to St. Louis and watch the fucking film, because I don't play them games. And if I see him in the street, I'm gonna bust him in his fucking mouth.